Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from the beautiful garden city of Victoria here in British Columbia on the west coast of Canada. I hope everybody is having a great weekend so far. I hope you're all staying healthy and strong. All your family members are doing well. Hi Zohra, Notive, YouTube, Kyber, good to see everyone. Muru Gesan, nice to see so many students. This lesson, students, is presented to you by aehelp.com for academic IELTS success. Visit us there. For the general IELTS, check us out at IELTShelp.com. That's generalieltshelp.com. On both of those websites, we've got lots and lots of materials to help you improve your speaking, including free speaking practice with other IELTS students as well. Let me show you this real quick. This is our academic IELTS website here at aehelp.com. You can click that big red button to join the premium package. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access. And for the general IELTS, it's the green background here. You can click that big red button to join us there. We are an official British Council IELTS Test Registration Center certified agents, so you're in great hands with us. And once you join, you have this My Student account. And in your My Student account, you have this free speaking that I was mentioning a moment ago. You click on this button here called Student Partner Speaking. And then once you're in this part of the website, you will usually find students hanging out in here. Right now, we have Pankaj hanging out here looking to video or audio chat with someone. So make sure to use that part of the website. It's absolutely free. Keep your window open. Somebody will ping you to practice with you. Okay? All right. So let me darken the screen just a slight little bit here. All right. Maybe a tiny touch more like that. Okay. So if you want to use our apps, you can download Academic IELTS Help from your app store. You can link it to your web portal. You can download General IELTS Help from your app store and link it to gieltshelp.com. Okay. You can also follow us on Instagram, IELTS_AEHelp and GIELTS Help. And if you have questions, you can send me an email, adrian@aehelp.com. Spandana, Janil, Gliding Waves, Mahmoud. Nice to see many of our members in this class as well. That is fantastic. All right, students, so today, again, right now, we will start speaking part 2 in just a second. A quick reminder, tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, no class. And then we have classes again starting from Wednesday. From that time, we have lots of classes all the way until the 26th, Saturday. This schedule will be up on our YouTube community board, so you can check it out there. Okay. All right. Here we go, everyone. So part 2, speaking. Okay. The IELTS exam, the speaking section has 3 parts. In part 1, you introduce yourself. The examiner will ask some questions about you, your hobbies, sports you like to play, music you like to listen to, subjects that you learned in school. So it will be something about you. And then when you're done that part, they will introduce part 2. Part 2, basically you have 4 or 5 questions on a card or in a notebook that the examiner will present you with. So they will say, okay, that is the end of part 1. Now we will continue with part 2. For part 2, I will show you some questions. You will have 1 minute to read these, think about your answers. Then you will have 2 minutes to speak. I will tell you when to stop. There's some note paper in front of you. You have your pen with you. Still now, because of COVID, you're wearing masks, of course. You can take notes in the 1 minute if you wish. And then they'll say, okay, talk about an object you use to stay healthy. All right, now this is speaking, everyone, so let's speak and repeat. Speak and repeat, okay? So this could be about anything. Here it's about an object. Talk about an object you use to stay healthy. Your 1 minute preparation time begins now. Okay, that 1 minute preparation time is extremely important. It has a major impact on your speaking section mark because it will define your speaking part 2 answer quality, and it will also define much of what happens in speaking part 3, because speaking part 3 is connected to part 2. And the high marks for the speaking section, band 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, those bands are decided based on your part 2 and part 3 performance mostly. Okay, all right, everybody's on board. We're all doing great. So step number 1, when you see this card, what is it? What's step number 1? What should you do? It's a reminder. Sometimes students forget this, and it's a really important one. So I'm asking you, what is step 1? Sometimes I tell you, but this time I want you to tell me. So what is the first step in this process? Okay, so what do you do? And Rashid is asking, does the object mean it's an activity or nutrition or food? An object means it's an item, so it's some type of an item. A type of food could be an item as well. Kyber says, identify the category. Nikhil says, read the question twice. Yeah, absolutely. June says the same. June says, read through the question carefully. Yeah, that's it, right? So read the question topic twice and read the questions very carefully. The reason for this, students, and again, it's still one of the most common mistakes that I see in IELTS speaking, even from very high-level English speakers, okay, is that they don't actually answer the questions on the card. So read the questions very carefully. One of the most common mistakes is candidates talk or speak off topic, and or they do not answer all of the questions. If you speak off topic, even if you have flawless English, perfect grammar, great vocabulary, you're going to get band 4, 5 on your response because you're off topic. It's incoherent, okay? So you have to be coherent. So again, talk about an object you use to stay healthy. Okay? So this is definitely not an activity. If you talk about playing soccer or football to stay healthy or going swimming, you're going to crash and burn, okay, is what's going to happen, because that would be talk about an activity you do to stay healthy. So this is not an activity, and the verb is not do, but the verb is use. So if you talk about an activity to stay healthy, you're going to be in a heap of trouble. All right. What is this object? Where did you get it? How do you use it? How does it help you stay healthy? Okay. You will have 1 to 2 minutes to talk about this topic. You will have 1 minute to prepare what you are going to say. Okay. Awesome. So again, talk about an object you use to stay healthy. Okay. All right. So now that we've really paid attention to this question, step 2 is to identify the category and the tense. Okay. clearly here we're talking about an object. And when we are talking about an object, what do we need to include? So when you talk about an object to another person, what should you include so that person clearly understand what you're talking about? Okay, so before you start thinking about objects, think about this. Okay. All right, so Kyber says the appearance. Lepay says the origin. Yep. So appearance, origin, yep. Function, yeah. Significance and opinion, very good, yeah. So and those are kind of similar. Most importantly, you want to talk about its appearance. What does it look like? You want to talk about its function. What does it do? You want to talk about its origin. Where does it come from? And its significance. Why is the object important? Okay, that kind of includes your opinion. And in this order. So first the appearance, then where it came from, then its function, how it works, and then its importance. So in this order, first, second, third, fourth. If you talk, or when you talk about an object in this way, then your listener, your audience will have a very clear idea of what it is that you're telling them, okay? So that's what you want to talk about, okay? Ahmad, I am doing great. Thank you for asking. All right. So June, I see that you said appearance, material, size, color, usage. June, think about it this way. Appearance, origin, function, significance, right? That's the better way, okay? The size is part of its appearance. Okay, and the tense, okay? So what is this object? Where did you get it? Present tense, past tense. How do you use it? Present tense. How does it help you stay healthy? Present perfect tense. So here, the tenses, okay, would be past, present perfect, maybe some past perfect as well. I would definitely say some progressive forms, okay, because you're using this object continuously. So I'm riding my bicycle every day ever since I got it for my 25th birthday, okay? All right, so you're using the progressive as well, obviously. All right, now step 3. What is step 3? So we have the object, we have the tense. What's my next step? Okay, and here the future tense, by the way, is not so important. Nobody's asking what will you do with it in the future, okay? So maybe you might say 1 or 2 sentences, but again, that past, present, future, it works for some questions. For other questions, be careful. All right. So Nick Hill says, come up with 2 to 3 ideas. Okay, Rajveer says, come up with 2 to 3 such objects. Okay. Carolina, good to have you here. I'm always happy to have our moderator in the class as well. Welcome. All right. Yeah, 2 to 3 objects. Think outside the box. So think of 2 to 3 great answers. Okay. And remember, think outside the box. Okay. So should be original, easy to talk about, and lots of content. Okay. Okay, so don't talk about your bike because everybody else is going to talk about their bike too. And even though the examiner shouldn't be comparing you to other candidates, if somebody came in just before your interview and talked about their bike, and they're close to a native speaker, and all they do is talk about their bike, and they gave just a beautiful presentation about their bike and how that helps them to stay healthy and fit, then it's going to be very hard for that examiner to not consider that person's performance when you start talking about your bike as the object to stay healthy. So try not to use topics that are super popular, because it's not going to be for your benefit in most cases, okay? So try to be a little bit original. So what are some objects that you can use to stay healthy? Okay, so Charmin says vitamin E capsules, or vitamin as the British pronounce it, vitamin E capsules. Okay, sure. Kevin says a smartwatch or a Fitbit is the original company, I believe. Fitbit, sure. Smartwatch, yeah, that could be a little bit difficult to talk about. For example, if you don't know the word pedometer, right? Anybody know what the word pedometer means? Just for fun? So, yeah, we do give you free marks on your essays with Paul. Absolutely. So, anybody know what the word pedometer means? And again, this is why I'm saying that careful choosing a topic like a smartwatch or a Fitbit, because you might get into situations that's difficult to talk about, and the examiner will see that, well, you don't really know the vocabulary for that. Okay? Yeah, Janelle, very good. It's a step count. Yeah, exactly. So if you have the vocabulary, great. If you don't talk about it. Okay. Gliding Wave says running shoes. Yeah, it's nice and easy. Lots to talk about, and probably not as popular as a bicycle. So running shoes is not bad. Sumant Pant says a mask. Okay. What kind of a mask? Be specific. So if you're going to choose talking about a surgical face mask, an N95 type filter, be specific, okay? There will be more content when you are specific with your answers, okay? All right. Isanur says a disinfectant, okay? Again, antibacterial. And if we really want to get specific, multi-purpose. A multi-purpose antibacterial disinfectant. Okay, very good. Yash Singh says skipping rope. Very nice. How about a yoga mat? Okay. Now let's think outside the box. So dumbbells, Star Gaming might be a popular answer. I wouldn't really go with that. Abin says, how about just water? Yeah, water could be okay. It could be tricky to talk about. June says body wash. Adamu, I don't know if perfumes would work. Arsh, I explained that a bicycle is not a good choice. Face wipes, Sadesh, could be a good one. Okay. All right. How about this one? A Nutri Bullet high-speed blender or a food processor. Okay, so lots of kitchen items to help us stay healthy and strong. A dehydrator to dehydrate food. So we have dehydrated fruits and vegetables. Okay, Amanda Way says organic vegetables. Okay. Kuiper with a smiley face says, if it's water, are you going to describe the appearance of water? Yeah, absolutely I would. Kuiper, that's a good question. So Kuiper, believes that he asked a funny question, but Kyber, you actually asked a good question. So if I were to talk about water, would I actually describe the appearance of water? And surprisingly, the answer is yes, I would. Okay. Okay, so just kind of to get you going on this idea, okay? So I drink crystal clear water. It's smooth and low in minerals. I like to drink it at room temperature. So I'm definitely describing the water that I drink. It's pure. It goes through a filter, okay? It has no bacteria, all right? So yeah, I would briefly, but still explain the appearance of water that I'm drinking, because as many of us know, there's actually a lot of different types of water or appearance of water around the world. Okay. All right. Okay, good. So let's choose one of these. Okay. So we've got lots of different choices. Let's choose one of these. So let's choose a, what should we go with here? Let's go with a yoga mat. Okay, I like that one. So let's go with a yoga mat. I think it's original enough. I think there's lots of content. And I think it's fairly easy to talk about. Okay, that's why I would choose a yoga mat. I don't think people would really choose that one quite so often. It would probably be a somewhat popular choice, but not a super popular one like bicycle or dumbbells. Okay, I think there's a lot that you can talk about when you're talking about how a yoga mat can help you to stay healthy. Also, it's fairly easy to talk about because you're talking about just general type of kind of exercises, daily exercise routines. Okay. All right. So now some notes. What is the appearance of a yoga mat? So what does it look like? In here, you can be creative, imaginative. Okay. So what is the appearance of the yoga mat? What does a yoga mat look like? It can look like many different ways, shapes, sizes, colors, but just start giving some information. Now, don't give information that you automatically know you will include. Okay. So Charmin says it's flat, it's colorful. All right. It's a colorful yoga mat. Why not? Sure. Rajveer says it's 10 feet in length. That might be a bit of a big one, Rajveer. It's possible, but I don't think anybody would complain about it. So I'd probably go something like 8 feet, about 2 meters in length. Amanda says soft, spongy, spongy. I think there's a word such as spongy, like that. Spongy, rubbery. Okay, spongy, rubbery. Okay, Charmin, very good. Charmin says 3 centimeters thick. That's pretty thick. I would say like half a centimeter. But yeah, again, they're not going to judge you for that. Churong says sweat absorbent. Very nice. Sweat absorbent. And maybe you have a carry case. Okay. So that it's easy to pack with you. Okay, origin, where did you get it? Okay. So again, you don't have to write down origin. You don't have to write down this much for appearance. Here it's just to give you some ideas. You should have about 2-3 notes for each. And your notes should be ideas that you don't easily think about, like a carry case, so that you can take it with you wherever you go. If you go on a trip, you go camping, you go to your friend's house, you go to a yoga studio, it's easy to carry with you, right? So carry case would be a good one. Sweat absorbent, so you're not slipping around, okay? That could be a good one to write down. The origin, so Zokra says online shop, be specific, okay? So maybe you'll write Amazon. Okay, maybe it's an Amazon recommendation, all right? Lepay says from a store called Taobao. I'm guessing that's probably a large retailer, okay? All right, or maybe something like my BFF, my best friend. For birthday, okay? After you complained about some backache. Okay. All right, good. And so what's its function? Okay. How do you use it? Okay. So think about that. Okay. So how do you use a yoga mat? Okay. And again, when you're in speaking part 2, think about your listener as an alien. So think about the most basic explanation. So Jyoti says you can use it for dance, stress relief, meditation. Those are the purposes. Okay. Stretching, workout, strength training. So there's lots of different ways, but how do you actually use it? And I think somebody mentioned one part of it. Okay. So how do you use it? How do you use a yoga mat? Let's see if anybody's actually... Yeah, okay, there we go. So Gaurav Charaya says you lay down on it to do certain exercises. Yeah, so roll it out. Okay, you roll it out, you roll it up, you lay down on it, you stand on it, you sit on it, you take it with you. Okay. So that's how you use it, okay? Don't forget about the concept of its function, right? You have to keep it clean. Every now and then, maybe wipe it down with some tea tree oil, okay? So you have to clean it. You have to take care of it, right? You have to keep it in a dry place where there's some good airflow. So if you get it all sweaty, it dries out. It doesn't mold, doesn't get all stinky. Okay, so that's how you're able to use it. Its purpose, you can release stress, meditation, you can stretch, you can work out, you can do strength training. Okay, so here, your yoga mat, you might want to write down something like body and mind, right? Because the original question, and you always want to keep the original question in mind, is talk about an object you use to stay healthy. And a yoga mat can help you to stay healthy both physically and mentally, right? So keeping that in mind can be very helpful to give a better response. Okay, great. So we've got some good notes. And you want your opinion as well. We'll come to that. Let's get to the next step. Step 4, I believe, today's lineup. So step 4. Step 4 is think about your first sentence before your 1 minute is up. Okay. Another very common mistake in speaking part 2 is candidates don't speak quickly enough. So when the examiner says, okay, your 1 minute preparation time is up, please begin speaking, many students go, okay, thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak about an object that I use to stay healthy. There are lots of different objects that I use to stay healthy, but the one that I would like to talk about today is, okay, 30 seconds is gone. You've got basically another 1 minute to come up with some ideas, and the examiner is going to stop you. You're going to crash and burn. You need to start quickly, clearly, and directly. So when the examiner says, okay, your 1 minute preparation time is up, please begin speaking, you need to say, an object that I use regularly to stay fit both mentally and physically is my yoga exercise mat that I got a couple of years ago from my friend as a birthday present. Boom. Now you're on path to a band 9 response, okay? So direct, clear, content-heavy answers. That's what you need, okay? All right. So Abhishek says, an item that is very useful for me to stay fit and healthy is my Flex Nest yoga mat. Beautiful, Abhishek. I love it. Specific, you're giving me the name or the brand of your yoga mat. That's what you want to do, all right? Very good. Those are the first sentences, what I want to see, all right? And what I want to hear as the examiner, okay? All right. Kyber says, an incredible item that I use to stay in good physical condition is my yoga mat. It's rubbery and colorful. It's about 8 feet long. So Kyber, very good. You're going into the appearance of it right away. Okay. Zohra says, an object that I regularly use to help me keep fit and healthy is my yoga mat. Okay, Zohra, good. Just be careful with your word selection. Uday says, frankly, it seems neither fair nor sensible to have myself evaluated on my knowledge base rather than my English. Uday, I hate to be the one to tell you this, but that is the world today. With 8 billion people in the world today, speaking a language or being able to do math, some basic skill, being able to use a computer, that's just the foundations. That will get you a job at McDonald's at most. And I don't mean to be rude by saying that, and I respect McDonald's workers as well. However, in today's world with 8 billion people, the way that you use your language, the way that you use your math skills, the way that you use your other skills, that's what's going to propel you to success in higher positions in society. And that's just the nature of the beast. So yes, you do have to perform beyond just knowing English for high IELTS scores, especially band 8s, band 9s, okay? That's just the way it is, and that's the way it is for everyone. So in some sense, it is fair. Okay? All right. Race. Where was that? Okay, I don't see it. All right, let's see. Rajveer says, an extremely important object that keeps me healthy both mentally and physically is my yoga mat. Mine. Okay, Rajveer? All right. Good. Kevin says, as a fitness fanatic, I'm always on a lookout for fitness gear, and perhaps the one object of immense utility in this regard is my K4 yoga mat. All right, Kevin, be direct, right? Be direct. Itzme says, is it okay to answer a bit out of the question? No, absolutely not, Itzme. Annie, you have to answer the question very, very directly to get good scores. Okay. Jaspal Singh says, because of COVID and lockdown, I started putting on weight as most of the time I sit around watching TV and using my computer. So my parents gifted me a treadmill so that I can walk and run and stay healthy. Jaspal, let's stick with the yoga mat. Treadmill's okay. The one problem with the treadmill is I think it would be a very popular answer, just like bicycle. So I would stay away from the treadmill. Okay, so first sentence is an object that is really helpful for me to stay fit both physically and mentally is my I can't even remember the name of my yoga mat. I have one and I use it all the time, but I don't remember the name of it. So I'll just come up with one is my serendipity yoga mat. Okay. All right. Actually, you know what? I do know one. Let's call it Lulu Lemon. Okay. So here we go. An object that is really helpful for me to stay fit both physically and mentally is my Lululemon yoga mat. All right. It's not actually mine. I have a different one, but sure. All right. Okay, so now as soon as you get going, you want to create nice fluency. And the way to create that fluency is by keeping in mind that with an object, you want to talk about its appearance. Okay, so let's talk about its appearance. What does this yoga mat look like? Okay, give me some dimensions, give me some colors. Welcome new members. Paulo Race, there you are. Welcome, Paulo. Okay, join in. All right, so what does this yoga mat look like? Okay. Bin says, using a yoga mat has always been on my mind. I've recently started using it to maintain my flexibility, although I feel it not only helps me with flexibility, but also my inner well-being. Okay. Yash says it's 3 by 8 feet. Okay, yeah, sure. So the mat is 3 by 8 feet, or 3 feet wide and 8 feet long, about half a centimeter thick. Yeah. Abhishek says it is blue in color, spongy. It's made of synthetic material. I actually think, Abhishek, a lot of the great yoga mats are made of natural rubbers. But yeah, there are some good synthetic ones out there as well. And it comes with a carry case. Okay, so very nice. Nice answer. Okay. So 3 centimeters thick. It's sky blue. So if you want to say blue, that's fine. But if you say sky blue or navy blue or royal blue, so if you know some more specific colors, that's going to improve your lexical resource mark. So when you're practicing for your IELTS exam, strive to make your speaking as descriptive as possible. It's sky blue. It has a spongy texture, and it has the Lululemon Omega logo at the top center of the mat. Okay, as many yoga mats do have those. So when you're going for description, go for details. Students, I highly, highly recommend, no matter your English level, always practice describing objects, describing people. Improving your ability to describe is a very useful skill when it comes to communication of any sort. Business, academic, personal, friendly. Having the ability to describe well is extremely useful. So the mat is 3 feet wide and 8 feet long, about half a centimeter thick. It's sky blue. It has a spongy texture, and it has the Lululemon Omega logo at the top center of the mat. It came with a strap for easy carry and can be rolled into a fairly small sized tube. Okay, So there's some more description there. So it came with a strap for easy carry, and it can be rolled into a fairly small size tube. Okay, you're picking up lexical resource marks left, right, and center. So Kyber says this mat was made by Nike. I got it from one of my close mates, Jerry. He bought it for me as a gift on my birthday. Yeah, so sure. I believe Lululemon is actually being bought by Nike. So I got this mat for my birthday 3 years ago. From my best friend Corey, right? So again, not just my best friend, but throw the name in there. Give some more description. So I got this mat for my birthday 3 years ago from my best friend Corey, because I had been complaining to him for some time about suffering from backache. Okay, so including explanations for your ideas is always a good idea. There are certain kinds of exercises that actors do. It's the yes and exercise. So let's talk about your yoga mat. Yes, and the reasons we use this yoga mat to stay fit and healthy. Yes, and different types of exercises with the yoga mat. So that kind of acting exercise, giving reasoning and continued flow of information, is great to do at home when you're building your part 2 response, because of, as a result, since, therefore, and keep building your ideas and going into details. Okay. All right. And don't repeat yourself. So the trick with those exercises is you should never repeat an idea that you've said, and you should not be going off topic. So you should not completely switch your ideas. Okay. Abin Abraham says, backache has been a constant issue for me. So this yoga mat is useful indeed. Not well indeed, Abin, but useful indeed. Okay. All right. Rajveer says, just last year I started putting on some weight, and I was searching for fitness gadgets to maintain my health, and this mat was recommended to me by Amazon. Very good, Rajveer. That will work as well if you're buying it on Amazon. Ohi is picking up what I'm putting down. Ohi Pama, thumbs up back at you. That's great. I'm glad you're acknowledging that. Okay. Dunn Noon says, my doctor suggested certain drugs to reduce the pain. Dunn, use the specific vocabulary. So Dunn, my doctor suggested certain painkillers to reduce my backache. However, this yoga mat made those unnecessary, and it's much healthier as it doesn't destroy my liver and my kidneys like pharmaceuticals, right? So again, that continued concept, right? Okay. Janelle says, around 3 years ago when I was suffering from back pain, I got this mat from my friend Jay on my 23rd birthday. Very good, Janelle. Fantastic. Okay. Nice. So in this sense, we are moving along. Okay. So we've got what it is. We've got the appearance, we've got its origin. Now we talk about its function. This is the one that students often forget. So they start talking about, oh, I do stretches and I do meditation on this and I even sleep on it. And then they kind of just jump from idea to idea, and it's not very good communication. Okay. So before that, let's go into function. So function means how do you use it, right? So how do you use this yoga mat? Okay. What do you do with it? I'm going to write it down. Let's see if you come up with some similar ideas. Okay, so there is what I do with it, okay, or the function of it. Okay, Kevin says, functionality-wise, I find the mat super intuitive, as all I have to do is just roll the mat out on the floor, step on it, and start my workout. Exercises that can be performed on this base run of the gamut, from vigorous, like high-intensity interval training, to burn fat, to gentle yoga stretches, where whereby muscle-mind connections are trained to their prime conditions. Okay, Kevin, that's some good functionality there. Let's see what else some of you have come up with. Okay. So Yash says, I roll it out, step on it, and then I embark on my exercise where I first stand on it, do some warm-ups, so that I'm ready for some more intensive workout. Yash, very good. Okay, great. Yeah, so the functionality. So how do you use this yoga mat? Okay. Kyber says, I use this cozy mat for stretching and meditation, as I mentioned earlier. It's cozy and really useful to release stress. Kyber, I'm not sure if I would describe a yoga mat as cozy. I guess it's okay. But again, focus more on function. How do you actually use it? Okay, Ois writes, I not only use it for yoga, but also for other purposes like meditation in the park at least twice a week, and to do abdominal stretches. Furthermore, I use it when I have back pain to help reduce the tension on my lower back. Okay, this is what I wrote. At least 4 to 5 times a week, I roll out my yoga mat. So the frequency of use, how often I use it, right? Either at home, at a park, or in a yoga studio. So where I use it, right? Okay. I stand, sit, or lay on it and do a variety of exercises. So how I use it, right? So you got that? So how often, where, and how I use it. I haven't actually talked about what I really use it for yet. Once I'm done, I roll it up, throw it over my shoulder, and put it in my closet for storage. Once every 2 weeks, I clean it with tea tree oil. Okay? All right. I use my mat for several different types of yoga, primarily for stretching to relieve my back pain. I'm going to stop using once, as soon as I feel limber. Limber means you feel loose. So when you do some stretches, and I'm going to probably do some yoga after this live class, by the way, I do recommend yoga for people. If you get into it, everybody finds it for themselves. It's a great part of life. So limber means to feel kind of loose. Okay, your joints are loose instead of the opposite, which is tight, where you feel very tight. You feel loose or limber. Okay. So just some vocabulary. So I use my mat for several different types of yoga, primarily for stretching to relieve my back pain. As soon as I feel limber, I get into some strength training. And this keeps my body truly fit and healthy. Why did I do this, students? So why did I finish my sentence with, and this keeps my body truly fit and healthy? Why did I do that at the end of that sentence? What's the reason there? Okay. Surjit is asking, what was your cue card? Surjit, you can probably guess from this sentence. Okay. Rajveer says, to come back to the topic. Abhishek says, to stay on the topic. Absolutely. Very important. Okay. A great trick to get a high band score is keep reflecting the topic. Don't overdo it. Okay. That will be awkward. but do it, okay, at least a couple of times. So the topic of the cue card, and somebody just asked what was it, is talk about an object you use to stay healthy. It's a really good idea to reflect back on that topic. Okay, all right. At times in the evening, I sit and meditate. I sit on this mat and meditate for half an hour to clear any of the anxieties I've accumulated throughout the day. This helps me to maintain a healthy mind. Okay, so here again, I'm reflecting back to the question, but instead of the physical health, I'm using the mental health at this point. Okay, I can say with confidence that I love my yoga mat. It is certainly one of the most thoughtful gifts that I have received, and it is an integral part of my healthy and happy living routine. All right. So lots of information there. Let's go through this, okay? So we're going to do this once more from the beginning, nice and fluent. Here we go. Let's look at the original question. I've seen a lot of great answers, by the way, from many of the people in the chat. Let's go from the top. So speak and repeat. Talk about an object you use to stay healthy. What is this object? Where did you get it? How do you use it? How does it help you to stay healthy? Okay. You do some great planning. The examiner says, okay, your 1 minute preparation time is up, and then you begin. An object that is really helpful for me to stay fit, both physically and mentally, is my Lululemon yoga mat. The mat is 3 feet wide and 8 feet long, about half a centimeter thick. It's sky blue. It has a spongy texture, and it has the Lululemon Omega logo at the top center of the mat. It came with a strap for easy carry and can be rolled into a fairly small size tube. I got this mat for my birthday 3 years ago from my best friend Corey, because I had been complaining to him about for some time about suffering from backache. At least 4 to 5 times a week, I roll out my yoga mat, either at home, at a park, or in a yoga studio. I stand, sit, or lay on it and do a variety of exercises. Once I'm done, I roll it up, throw it over my shoulder, and put it in my closet for storage. Every 2 weeks, I clean it with tea tree oil. I use my mat for several different types of yoga, primarily for stretching to relieve my back pain. As soon as I feel limber, I get into some strength training, and this keeps my body truly fit and healthy. At times in the evening, I sit on this mat and meditate for half an hour to clear any of the anxieties I've accumulated throughout the day. This helps me to maintain a healthy mind. I can say with confidence that I love my yoga mat. It is certainly one of the most thoughtful gifts that I have received, and it's an integral part of my healthy and happy living routine. Okay, Adrian, your 2 minutes is up. I'll stop you there. And now we will continue with part 3. For this part, I will ask you some questions related to your response and on this topic. Let's begin. Okay. So that's how it works, students. That's how you do it. I see a lot of great answers in the chat. Kevin, that's a fantastic finish to the response as well. Beautiful participation from lots of members in today's class too. That's nice to see, lots of new members. So keep coming to these classes, and I guarantee that your IELTS band score will improve, as well as your communication in English, your communication skills. For everybody watching, you can join the premium package on our website by clicking this big red button at aehelp.com for academic IELTS, or at gieltshelp.com for general IELTS, which is this web page here with the green background. I seem to have lost my connection. Nope, there it is. So it's this green background here. You can click that big red button there to join us. Okay. So we've got a couple of days break. I will be back on Wednesday at the same time with speaking part 1. Okay, so Wednesday, June 22nd, I shall be back. Carolina, thank you for moderating our chat. That was very useful today. I saw that there were a couple people who really didn't know what they should be doing in here. So thank you for helping everybody out. Have a fantastic start to your week, everyone, and hopefully I will see you in a few days. You're very, very welcome, like Notiv YouTube. I hope you're having a great day in Nakodar, Ohi, Pamma, and Abin. It's fantastic to have you as part of our members. Much love to all of you. I'm Adrian, signing out from beautiful Victoria on the west coast of Canada. See you in the next week. Bye.